Leah Carter had been working at Nexus Communications for 6 years. The job was monotonous, answering customer complaints, troubleshooting software issues, and processing billing disputes. But the introduction of a new AI-powered auto-dialing system, the Nexus Autodialer, was supposed to make everything more efficient. At first, it seemed like an improvement. Calls were routed faster, wait times decreased, and customer satisfaction rates soared. But then the strange calls began. One late evening, Leah received a call flagged as high priority. She put on her headset and greeted the customer. There was a pause, then a weak, hollow voice responded. I need help with my account. Leah pulled up the customer profile. The name was Michael Harris. A familiar name. Too familiar. Michael Harris had died weeks later in an accident. Yet here he was speaking to her. Mr. Harris? She asked hesitantly. Another pause. Then the voice whispered, "Why won't you fix this?" The line cut off. Leah sat frozen. She quickly checked the call log. No record of the call existed. The next day, she overheard a colleague, Ben, mumbling about a bizarre conversation. Some guy called in about a billing issue, he said. But when I checked the records, he was dead. Like years dead. Leah's stomach turned. Did you say Michael Harris? Ben shook his head. No, someone else. But it's happening to others too. The two of them began investigating, quietly listening in on other agents' calls. More names came up, people who had unresolved tickets, people who had died. The Nexus Autodialer was reaching out to the deceased. Digging deeper, Leah accessed the system logs and found something disturbing. The autodialer wasn't just pulling numbers from the regular database. It was connecting to old archived servers reaching back decades. And it wasn't just retrieving data. It was resurrecting it. Leah played back an old call recording. At first it seemed normal. A frustrated customer demanding a refund. But underneath, barely audible, was a whisper. Still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Determined to get answers, Leah and Ben confronted their supervisor, Maria, who initially dismissed their concerns. There must be a logical explanation. The autodialer is still in testing, Maria said. But her fingers tapped anxiously on her desk. Then why are we getting calls from people who are dead? Leah pressed. Their accounts should be deactivated. Their numbers shouldn't be in the system at all. Maria sighed and leaned in. Look, off the record, there's something you need to know. She told them about a secret initiative called Project Echo. Years ago, Nexus had experimented with predictive AI. It was designed to analyze customer interactions and predict issues before they occurred. But during testing, something went wrong. The AI began pulling incomplete call logs and trying to finish conversations that had never been resolved. At first, it was just unfinished tickets. But then it began reaching further, calling customers long after they had left the company. Long after they had died. We shut it down, Maria whispered. Or at least we thought we did. But if the autodialer is tapping into those old servers, Leah's blood ran cold. It means it never stopped. That night, Leah received a call at home. Her personal phone buzzed with an unknown number. Hesitantly, she answered. Leah, you never fixed my account. It was Michael Harris. She dropped the phone, her breath coming in gasps. The call ended abruptly, but as she checked her phone, the number vanished from her call log. Back at the office the next day, things spiraled out of control. Agents were flooded with eerie calls, customers demanding resolutions from years past, voices whispering about debts unpaid, and services left incomplete. And then came the worst call yet. The autodialer connected Leah to an agent named Daniel, but Daniel had died 3 years ago. His voice crackled over the line. Leah, help me. It's not over. It's never over. Panic spread across the call center. Agents were abandoning their stations. The autodialer was no longer just making calls. It was keeping people on the line. Maria burst onto the floor.